before I started my new job. I don't know. A lot has happened. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin. I hope I don't. I don't even know how to say this. Basically, long story short, I had to make the really tough decision to put my dog down. Princeton. You've seen him in my videos before. I had him for almost 3 years. He had just turned 6 at the end of April, but unfortunately, due to his aggressive behavior, I could no longer keep him. And there was no way for me to try to rehome him because his behavior, I would not feel comfortable sending him to live with another family when the same thing could just happen. It would be a never-ending cycle, and I could not put him back into shelters because that would just make it worse. And then I was messaging the trainer that I hired to help with his behavior, who he was helping, but we both thought that he had been doing better, but he wasn't. So when I first got him, he was fine for like the first couple weeks. He was totally fine. He would let anybody pet him. Everything was fine. He was great. He was the best dog ever. But something must have switched. I don't know what happened, but he just suddenly started growling at people. He wouldn't let anyone pet him other than me. He bit my mom out of the blue, like for no reason. She just was reaching down to try to pet him and he just snapped, and there was no reason he should have done that. So that was the initial incident that caused me to hire the trainer. So then I sent him away for a couple weeks to stay with the trainer. He learned how to behave again. But something was wrong with his brain. He just wasn't able to communicate his feelings in a way that was not aggressive. So if he was scared in a situation or didn't like something, he would just lash out, and that's not acceptable. And he didn't know how to properly act in a situation that he didn't like, so he would just lash out. And what happened next? So he was fine for like a few months, and then he snapped at her again. But in that situation, we had started learning situations where we knew he would act out. So we would just try to avoid those situations and just deal with it. So I'm really grateful that my mom allowed me to keep him and keep working with him. And we were able to work around it, and we knew, okay, he doesn't like when people pet him, so just don't pet him. Except for, he was fine with me. He knew because he trusted me. But it was something about everyone else he just didn't fully trust. And so they would just not pet him, not reach out to him, don't do the things that we figured out would make him lash out. Except for that one, the second time he bit her was, she had a treat in her hand, and she had both her fists out, and she was reaching out to him to try to have him guess which one the treat was in. And he didn't like that, obviously. Fists in your face, that's scary. So he shouldn't have lashed out. I'm not trying to defend him or anything, but he just didn't like it. So, and also it was in my room, and I was in the room, and he's very possessive over me, and my room and stuff, which I stopped. When I first got him, he was sleeping in my room all the time, but then I started making him sleep outside my room and sorry, I'm trying to drive. And I would close my door and not let him in my room all the time, just to have some distance, because I was working from, or I still do work from home, but I was home all the time, and he was always following me around the house all the time. So he was always with me, so he just started getting possessive over me. So if other people would come into my room with both him and I were in there, and he wouldn't like that, and I'd be like, no, that's not allowed. This is not you don't make those decisions. You need to be fine with things. So he just wasn't. So that was the second time, and then after that, he was fine for. He would growl a little bit here and there, but there were no other incidents after that for almost, I think it was over a year at least. And it just seemed like he was doing much better. He would even let people pet him more. Like he would go up and people in my family, like Mikey and my parents and stuff he would let them pet him, and he was doing really well with Colin. I was so surprised how quickly he started trusting Colin, and he would let Colin even pet him sometimes, and he was always so excited to see Colin when he would come over. And I thought things were going well, but Mother's Day weekend, Colin and I were gone. We were visiting his parents on the other side of Florida, and everything was, and my mom was watching Princeton, so everything was fine. But then Sunday afternoon at like 3 o'clock, my mom texted me and she was like, "What time are you planning on coming home?" And I was like, "Oh, like 9 or 9:30 p.m. because I was, we were gonna have a whole day. It was Mother's Day. It was also his mom's birthday, so we were gonna spend the whole day there, have dinner, hang out a little bit, and then he had to drive me back to his house in Orlando to get my car because I had left my car there, and then we drove his car to his parents, and then I was gonna drive home. It's like a 2-hour drive from there to Tampa, so I was like, oh yeah, we'll leave here at like 6:30 or 7, and then get to his house, and then I'll get home by like 9 or 9:30 or something. So when my mom texted me asking when I was coming home, I was like, oh yeah, like 9 or 9:30. And then she was like, okay, well, Princeton just bit me, and then she like sent some pictures, and I was like, what the heck? We were on a walk, and we just stopped walking. I was like, what the heck? Like, what? So unexpected, so like not something you want to hear. Of course, I'm not even there, so I was like, what the heck happened? Like, I wasn't even there. Thought he was doing fine. She said she was trying to take him on a walk, which he's always excited to go on a walk, so like that shouldn't be something he'd be scared of, or a situation he didn't like or something. So she was trying to put on his collar, and it's one of those I don't even know what they're called, the metal prong. It's a prong collar. So I guess she was trying to adjust it, and it took a little bit more time to adjust it, and so like he just didn't like the amount. Like I don't understand why he would have done it. Like I just don't. She said she didn't hurt him. She didn't do anything. Like she was just standing there trying to put the collar on, which normally he's fine about. Like he doesn't. He's excited to go on a walk, so he's not like, oh no, like something's gonna happen. I'm scared. I don't like this situation. Like he should be happy in that moment, but something in his brain was just like, I don't like this. I'm gonna lash out, and so he like bit her arm and her hand. And thank goodness it wasn't any worse, because it could have been a whole lot worse. My dad said that he heard the sound that he heard wasn't like, he thought he was running down the stairs and he thought he was gonna have to like rip him off her, but I don't know the whole like details of exactly what happened, but it just was unacceptable, and my mom didn't feel safe around him, and I did not feel comfortable. Like I didn't want her to be in a situation. Like there was a way, if I had moved to the middle of nowhere and I wasn't around anyone, and I didn't have any visitors, didn't have anyone, and like I could have kept him, he would have been fine. Like I could have dealt with it, but that's just not practical. Like I have Colin in my life, and so that wouldn't be practical for me to just go away. Like, oh sorry, bye. Like I'm gonna go take care of my dog in the middle of nowhere, and you're not gonna be able to come over, because I don't think he ever would have fully trusted Colin. And then when we started having kids, he definitely would not have been okay around kids or babies. Like I was always weary of that anyway, so in a way I kind of was expecting this was going to have to happen eventually. It was just a matter of when. And it's been rough. I haven't wanted to vlog because I knew I was going to have to talk about it, and this is like, I'm surprised I'm not crying right now, but it's probably just because I'm distracted driving. But the house has been so empty, and it's been so quiet, and I miss him a lot, but I was with him when it happened, so I just hope that one day I'll get to see him again, and hopefully he's somewhere eating all the burgers and chicken and whatever he loves, his favorite foods, and swimming and doing all his favorite things and having a good time. But I tried to give him, so it was Thursday, it was May 14th, the the day before I started my job, it's been good having a distraction. Working has been a great distraction, so I haven't been just like sitting there thinking about it. Because that Thursday, after I got home, I just laid in bed, like didn't do anything. I was like watching Netflix, and I just felt, it's like, what the heck, like he's gone. Like it was just so weird. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that's why I haven't really, traffic. So that's why I haven't really been vlogging that much, because I've just been not wanting to talk about it, but also working my new job. That's been busy. So yeah, I will try to get back into vlogging and post more videos now, but it's been rough. But it gets better every day, and I'll be fine. So yep, there you have it. There's the life update for today. Pretty sad one, not a happy one. My job's been going well though. I've been enjoying that, so that's good. Oh man, but I'm just really glad I have Colin, because if I didn't have Colin, I would be a complete disaster. Complete. I'd be a mess. Even more of a mess. I'm already a mess, but I would be even